Well, welcome back. Washington still reeling from the sudden passing of longtime Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. Graham's sister Darlene sworn in as an interim senator yesterday. Governor McMaster appointed her to finish out her late brother's term. Now the race is on for who will succeed the senator and win the Republican nomination for that seat. A few names already floated, including South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman. Yesterday, he was asked about his intentions. Watch.
Are you running for Senate?
I will be announcing tomorrow my intentions.
And joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive, the man himself, South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman. Congressman, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much. Are you about to announce your intentions right here?
You know, I'm not ready to do that yet, Maria, but before I say anything, let me just say I wish all Americans could have been in the chambers yesterday when the senator's sister took the seat that Lindsey had for 24 years. Great day. She would do a great job. As far as this race goes, there's a lot of hurdles to get over legally, and that's what will be sorted out. I am interested in the job, but we'll see how it turns out. And look, the reason I'm interested, the Senate is standing in the way of passing President Trump's agenda. They just are. It starts off with the SAVE Act, making sure Americans who are Americans vote in elections. And I'm going to fight for that as well as ending the filibuster, which the Democrats will do if they ever take office. So we've got a big task ahead, but it's a critical time in this country, particularly with the Democrat socialists.
I mean, why is it so difficult to get the Save America Act passed in the Senate? I mean, I know that the Democrats are trying hard to upend President Trump's agenda, but you even have Republicans pushing back on the Save America Act. What's the problem?
Well, you've got just weak Republicans. We've got a 53 to 47 majority in the Senate, and we can't seem to get something that's per the Constitution. And, you know, Maria, if we don't have safe elections that are elected by American citizens, what do we have? We don't have a democracy. And I turned on the news early this morning, and the Socialist Democrats are aiming at taking over every branch of government, and we cannot let that happen, and the Senate cannot stand in the way. That's why we've got to do whatever it takes to make sure that we have safe elections, make sure our borders are secure, and move forward on it. And I think it's going to take blowing up the filibuster, which the Democrats will do if they get back into power. And they're putting a lot of money behind candidates, as you see in New York, as you see in California, as you see in Virginia, and we got to stop that.
And you would support getting rid of the filibuster?
Absolutely. I mean, we're not going to get 60 votes on anything in the Senate right now. And why? What do we got to? Why are we waiting? Why not do the walking filibuster? Make them stay up all night.
Yeah.
It cannot keep going like this. And again, this is a critical time in the history of America that we can't let get by.
Yeah, I know it really is. But you've only got a couple of legislative days left to get anything done, even before the midterms. This is your last meaningful legislative window before the August recess. What do you think is the priority? Should be the priority right now?
The priority is the SAVE Act, which is making sure citizens are voting in the elections. Right along with that is President Trump's agenda, which includes securing the border. We've got to codify that. We've got to pass the Budget Reconciliation 3.0. We can do it, and we start that process tomorrow in the Budget Committee, which I'm a member of. But, you know, the Senate has stalled out on us now for over a year, and that's the problem that we've got to break the logjam, and we just got to make sure we do that, and I'll lead the charge on that.
Yeah, and do you think it's because they just don't support him in the Senate, even Republicans?
You know, I can't figure it out. You know, they take an oath of office to protect and defend the United States of America, abide by the Constitution. They're not doing it. Being an American citizen is per the Constitution to vote in this country and verify it. And it's beyond. All of the House members or the Republicans anyway are very upset with what's going on, and we can't wait any longer. Now's the time.
Well, you had a breakthrough yesterday, I guess. Republicans breaking through through that logjam after the infighting shut down the House floor earlier this month. The House passing the rule yesterday, setting up a vote later this week on a 2027 funding for the State Department, and among others. Speaker Johnson used a procedural measure to attach the Save America Act to the State Department funding bill before it's sent to the Senate, Congressman. But the House only has a few days left before the August recess, and I'm wondering how, what the fate of, is this just sort of symbolic to attach the Save America Act here because you know that it's not going anywhere in the Senate?
No, it's not symbolic. I mean, we know if we don't put it on to the reconciliation and on our budget bill, which we're marking up tomorrow, by the way, to pass the resolution to be able to consider it, then it'll never be considered. But now's the time for us for the senators to stand up. Now's the time to us to put it on we shouldn't vote on anything else if it doesn't have the SAVE Act on it, which is making sure these elections are secure with Americans voting.
And the House Budget Committee announcing that markup that you're talking about. You're going to do the markup tomorrow to consider the third reconciliation bill. There's a feeling out there that the death of Senator Graham likely ends the Reconciliation 3.0 push. And of course, with the priority on his tough Russia secondary sanctions law, what are your thoughts there in terms of the budget and what it looks like? You're on the Budget Committee. What can you tell us about the package?
What the package looks like is $60 billion for our military. It looks like $11 billion for our farmers who are in desperate need, not just in South Carolina, but all over the country. And it includes the SAVE Act. Those three things we'll be considering and putting it on the floor next week and hopefully voting on it, Maria. Like you said, we've got very few legislative days left. I hope we can come back into session. We're due to be out in August, but we need to put this front and center stage, and I hope we come back to pass it if we can't get it done next week.
And you've already got your colleagues on the Democrat side threatening that once funding runs up at the end of September, they'll shut the government down again.
Not only will they shut it down, they want to do anything they can to harm President Trump and stop this agenda. We can't let that happen. We've got to have a foolproof legislation that stops that. And it starts with the budget reconciliation, which, as you know, requires only 51 votes. And move this package forward, and let's make the Senate vote on it. And it's a pretty simple package. It's a full safe package once we get it if we can get it out of committee tomorrow, which I think we will.
Now, in terms of the budget, the House Freedom Caucus sent a letter to Mike Johnson saying that any Reconciliation 3.0 bill must include strict dollar-for-dollar and year-for-year spending cuts to restore fiscal sanity and control the deficit and delay a debt crisis. Do you think you will be meeting those goals?
Whether it'll be offset or not, we'll see. But I tell you, we've got to fund our military. The interest on our debt and that's why the dollars have been pared down. Originally for the military it was over $300 billion. Now it's down to $66 billion and $11 billion for the farmers. We've got to get that passed. And we've got to make, again, and the SAVE Act's got to be on that. Now, I want every dollar spent to be offset. Now, whether we can make that happen with this amount, I don't know, but we're trying. That would be the ultimate aim to do that. Well,
particularly as our adversaries are on the march pretty aggressively, China, Russia, Iran. Do you expect and do you support the president's $1.5 trillion ask for a defense budget in 2027? Yes, I will. We're at an important time. He's making all the right calls with Iran. We're going to probably have to take them out next week. This is the fourth day of bombing. You got a bunch of maniacs up there. They have no reason for existing, and he's given them every chance. The moratorium's over with, so we have to make that happen. All right, we will leave it there. Congressman, we'll be waiting for your official announcement to run in the Senate seat. Thanks very much for being here. My pleasure. Ralph Norman joining us. We'll be right back. Stay with us.